Luke has been telling the story, as we know, through Peter, and he's turned his attention now to Paul with others in Europe. And in Philippi, in this Roman colony, there is a woman, presumed to be young, and she was controlled by what they called a python spirit. Pythons constrict, pythons restrict, and then they gobble their prey. They suck the life out of them. Now, this girl was very good at what she did. She could see into people's lives, tell, and we'll use inverted commas, the truth, and people would pay good money to have their fortune told. And this lady followed Paul and the others, and she told the truth. These men are servants of the Most High God who proclaim to you the way of salvation. So the demonic doesn't always lie, though often it does. What is therefore needed? Discernment. Where are these words coming from? And this goes on for a number of days till finally Paul has had enough. He doesn't lose his temper, but that's enough of that. And he turns round and he releases this girl from her python spirit. She's freed. You might remember Jesus did a very similar thing with pigs and Legion. Now, instead of applauding, her owners, her, in a different language, her pimps, though that's full of other ideas, are annoyed because her demonic gift has left, and now they can no longer make any money. Evidently, making money from a person was more important than the person, something that must never ever be true. And so they now want to run Paul and the crew out, and they do a rent-a-mob thing, and they complained that what the Christian crew are doing is disturbing Roman customs. And they're taken and they're beaten with rods and they're thrown into prison. Please notice at this point, Paul doesn't use his Roman citizenship. I wonder why. In the middle of the night, instead of just licking their wounds, they're worshipping God. And as they worship, and all the others are listening in, Paul never misses a good opportunity for the gospel and some good worship. And in the middle of the night, as they're worshipping, there's an earthquake, the doors open, and Paul, unlike Peter, as led out by an angel, waits. The jailer, when he wakes up, presumes that he will now be executed because prisoners escape. And Paul cries out, "Don't worry, we're all here." And he uses that wonderful term, verse 30. "Men, what must I do to be saved?" And Paul uses that straight in. Believe in the Lord Jesus, you will be saved, and, as with Lydia, your household. And Paul is taken with the crew, and the jailer and the household are baptized. And the jailer ministers to them. He bandages their wounds, doesn't pray for them, bandages wounds, feeds them. The next day, Paul says, "Hey, you can't just rid of us. We are Roman citizens." And they get an apology. The city would have thought, what have we done? We have mistreated one of our own. They go, they visit Lydia, they exhort, they encourage the brethren, and then they move on. Time for the centre of that part of the world, Thessalonica. More trouble, more joy.